This is part 2 video on drag force experiment, and the data collection table is shown here. It is something similar to what you have in the manual. Pressure as the first column, velocity second column, and drag force is third, fourth and fifth column. These forces correspond to three different discs with different diameters: 40 mm, 56 mm, 80 mm diameters. And the units of measurement: force is in Newton, velocity in meter per second, and pressure is in Pascal. So you get pressure and velocity from the manometer. It has both the scales, pressure scale and velocity scale. Drag force, there is another gauge which gives you the drag force reading. You can choose any range for the pressure as the input. The dynamic pressure and velocity corresponding to it is the input. From our side we give this setting, and then the corresponding drag force on the three disc we are going to measure as the output. So the input, you vary any 5 readings of pressure between 10 and 70. Randomly you can choose any pressure values and you measure the corresponding forces. We are not going to go for higher pressures more than 100 because we have a limitation with the force gauge. It can measure a maximum force of 0.6 Newton. So therefore for higher pressures we have higher drag force which we may not be able to measure. So operate between 10 and 70 Pascal. We are going to do 5 tests. Now the machine is in operation. The switch on I position, meaning the fan has started, and the roller knob here set at some position which is giving some wind speed, and drag force currently 0.16 Newton. That is 0.1, 0.2, so it is 0.16 Newton. And where the fluid stops, we are trying to read the pressure. Approximate reading we'll get with this analog device at 48, roughly 48 Pascal as the pressure. Velocity 8.5, approximately 8.5 meter per second. And the disc that we have here is the biggest diameter disc, which is fixed on that hinge. So here we can see the other two discs, medium diameter and the smallest diameter, and the circular slot there available at the center of the disc, which will help us to fix it on that hinge. So that will be your test 1 at one specific setting of this fan speed. That is one particular setting where you have the knob with the marker black color. One setting of the fan speed. You have the drag force, you have the pressure, you have the velocity for that disc. So next you will remove this disc and you will put the other medium diameter disc in there, and pressure will be same, velocity will be same, the drag force will change. You get F2. Then you will remove that, you will put the smallest diameter disc in here, and pressure is same, velocity is same, you will get F1. So F1 is for the small disc, F2 is the medium disc, F3 is for the biggest diameter disc. So one by one you will remove these discs and you will plug in the other one, and you keep reading the drag forces. Okay, that completes your test number 1. For test number 2, you are going to increase the fan speed from here, move the roller to the right side. That increases the speed of the fan, so the air velocity will increase, the dynamic pressure will increase to some other value, maybe 60, maybe 30. You reduce the speed, it goes to 30, 20, 10. So that way you can increase or decrease the dynamic pressure, and the velocity also increases. And each time you change the fan speed, you are going to measure the drag force F1, F2, F3 for the three discs, and that way you have to complete 5 tests for 5 different speeds of the fan.